This program contains scenes with strong language and may contain violence. Viewer discretion is advised.
All rise.
Court's in session.
Crown, are you ready to present your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Alright, and Mr. Asper, have you retained legal representation?
Your Honor, I'll be representing myself tonight.
Alright, and are you ready to proceed with the case?
Yes, I am.
Alright, Crown, you may begin.
Your Honor, so at this time, we're presenting the case R.V. Asper. On the date 06/19/2023, Mr. Asper was convicted of permitting an unlicensed person to drive a motor vehicle. Mr. Asper, do you have any witnesses you'd like to bring forward?
I have no witnesses at this time.
Alright, Crown, is there any witnesses you would like to call in this matter?
I would like to call Provincial Constable A. Jeff to the stand.
Constable Jeff, are you able to step up to stand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Alright, Crown, you may proceed.
All right. Constable Jeff.
Yes.
You noticed Mr. Asper swerving in and out of lanes. Were you pulling him over to see if he was possibly drinking and driving, or what was the basis of the stop?
So as you mentioned, the initial reasoning for the stop was the swerving in and out of the lane. So I initially stopped him to see if he was under the influence of any alcohol or drugs, or if he possibly was drinking and driving. So that was the initial basis for that traffic stop that night.
Okay. How was it come about that you found his license was suspended?
So after talking to him and just getting his basic information to make sure the vehicle was registered and all that, I ran his information and it was found that his license was suspended within our CAD system.
Okay. Could you prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the person you found in CAD was Mr. Asper?
Can you just repeat that once more, sorry?
Sorry. Can you prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the information you were given and the information you received from CAD led yourself to Mr. Asper?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time I have no more questions for Mr. Jeff.
Alright, defense, do you have any questions you would like to present to the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Alright, Constable Jeff, thank you for attending. You may step down. We will now hear... Do we have any other witnesses to be called, Crown?
At this time we do not.
Alright, Crown, I will let you present your closing arguments for this case.
Give me 2 seconds, Your Honor. So, at the time of the traffic stop, I can see that Mr. Asper did not... Sorry. let me double back. I can see that Mr. Asper had a suspended license. However, this charge for permitting an unlicensed person to drive the motor vehicle typically is more meant for permitting someone else without a license to drive a motor vehicle, as well as a license suspension is not particularly meaning you're unlicensed. You have a license, you just are not permitted to drive. I do not believe that this charge should stick in the sense that it's an incorrect charge. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Are you bringing a motion to modify the charges against the defendant?
Yes, sir.
And what charge would you like to present?
The charge of driving while suspended with knowledge.
Does the defendant have any arguments against this charge, replacing the current charge against them?
No arguments at this time, Your Honor.
Alright, we will proceed with that charge. You may continue your closing arguments, Crown.
I believe we have reached the end of my closing arguments at this time, Your Honor.
Alright, defense, you may present your closing arguments. Mr. Asper, are you prepared to present your closing arguments?
At this time, I don't have any closing arguments.
Alright, Mr. Asper, do you contend that you had a suspended license at the time that you were stopped by Constable Jeff?
Your Honor, I was unaware that I had a suspended license at the time of the traffic stop.
Alright, Crown, were you able to discover the reasoning of the suspension on Mr. Asper's license? Was this for previous charges, or?
I was not, Your Honor.
Mr. Asper, are you aware of the reason that your license was suspended?
Your Honor, I am not.
Okay, since the time that the charge has occurred for you, have you been made aware of the reason your license was suspended?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
Is the Crown willing to present any offers to Mr. Asper in relation to this charge?
Your Honor, we can make an offer to no, Your Honor, at this time I think the charge should stick with the driving while suspended.
Understood. And Constable Jeff was able to determine without a shadow of a doubt that the defendant's license was in fact suspended at the time of this charge being issued?
That is correct.
Alright. Well, with knowledge from the arresting or the issuing officer that Mr. Esper's license was in fact suspended, I am going to issue a guilty verdict in this matter. The charges that have been brought against of driving while suspended will be enforced with the set fine amount. This is the ruling in this matter. Alright, we will move on to docket line 7, and this will be R versus Fuller on the charge of operation while impaired. Last four of the case will be 5552. Now, do we have Mr. Fuller in the courtroom with us today?
Yeah, I'm here.
Alright, Mr. Fuller, are you ready to proceed in this matter?
Yes, sir.
Crown, are you ready to proceed on this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Alright. And how does the defendant plead?
Not guilty.
Alright, Mr. Fuller, you have been charged with operation while impaired contrary to the Highway Traffic Act. Crown, do you have any witnesses you would like to call in this matter?
I would like to call Commissioner Rodriguez to the stand.
Commissioner, you were able to take the stand for us.
Yes, Your Honor.
Alright, Crown Counsel, you may proceed.
Commissioner Rodriguez, upon the time of the arrest, was your ASD calibrated that day?
That is correct. It was.
Mr. Fuller had advised you that he had consumed a large quantity of alcohol. Was he mentally sound enough to be able to give you a relatively absolute answer on the situation?
That would be correct. He did explain in detail what transpired in the bar, and that was corroborated with the staff sergeant's comments to me about what happened in the bar. And he did seem coherent when I was talking to him.
Do you know what the original traffic stop that the staff sergeant initiated for?
I do. They were responding to reports of shots fired in the area of the Yellow Jack. Staff Sergeant Rogers identified Mr. Fuller and another vehicle. Vehicles in question or persons in question. He performed a traffic stop. The original party fled, and a short while after, Mr. Fuller fled in his blue Evo.
Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time.
All right. Defense, do you have any questions for the witness?
Yeah, I got no questions at this time.
All right. Commissioner Rodriguez, thank you for joining us. You may step down. Crown, do you have any more witnesses or evidence that you would like to present in this matter?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any witnesses or evidence that you would like to submit?
I have none.
Alright, Crown Counsel, you may present your closing arguments in this matter.
This case brought forth has painted a vivid picture of an individual consuming a large amount of alcohol and getting behind the wheel of a vehicle. The fact that he had stated to a police officer that he had consumed a large amount of alcohol is relatively concerning. And then the ASD of 0.19 is more than double the legal limit of alcohol. And with the flight, I believe that all charges should stick in this case.
Alright, defense, you may present your closing arguments in this matter.
Thank you. So I will admit, I was not recklessly drinking, but having a good time. But I do not believe that I fled the scene. Rather, I got in the vehicle and suffered a mechanical breakdown and rolled down the hill towards said officer. That is all.
Alright, Mr. Fuller, do you deny that at the time of this incident that you were in fact intoxicated?
No, Your Honor, I was definitely drunk.
Alright, in this matter, I will be finding the defendant guilty on Operation Well Impaired. Your license will remain suspended, and you will be liable for court costs as well as any fines imposed as a result of that charge. And I'm also going to be sentencing you to 60 days in jail. Crown Counsel, can you call the next case?
Are we going with line 8 on the docket?
I'm sorry, which case is that? I'm not seeing a line 8 on today's docket.
That'll be... Oh, sorry. I meant line 6.
Line 6. So this case is going to be against Mr. Fuller again. You seem to be showing yourself a lot in today's docket, Mr. Fuller. Mr. Fuller is going to be fighting the charge of 1 to 19 kilometers per hour over the speed limit. This is going to be case 5539 on the docket. So, Mr. Fuller, on the charge of 1 to 19 kilometers per hour over the maximum speed limit, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
Alright. The defendant has entered a plea of not guilty. Cran, you may call any witnesses or evidence you have in this matter.
Do we have Staff Sergeant Rogers in the house, in the courthouse?
I do not believe the staff sergeant is able to join us today.
Okay.
Would you be able to proceed without the officer present?
I do not believe so. He is the only witness I have in this incident.
All right. Does Mr. Fuller have a history of speeding on his record?
Give me 2 seconds, Your Honor, and I can fill you in on that. It does not appear so, Your Honor. He's got one previous charge with a speeding involved, and that's it.
All right, and what was the speed in that on that charge?
It does not look like a speed was listed. He had rear-ended a police cruiser.
All right.
But no speed is listed.
I believe that this case is also going to be on our docket line 4.
I believe so, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Fuller, given that you do not have a record for speeding, were you issued a copy of the offense notice by Staff Sergeant Rogers?
Yes, Your Honor, I was.
All right. So given that I do not see a history in relation to speed for you, and it appears that your speed was 117 kilometers per hour in a posted 100 kilometer hour zone, I am going to dismiss this charge from you. Crown Counsel, you may call the next case.
The next case is going to be line 4 in the docket. It's going to be Fuller as well. Case number is going to be 3811998223810405 Going to be for the charge of fail to remain at the scene of an accident.
All right, Mr. Fuller. Give
Yes,
me
Your Honor.
one moment to pull this case up. On the charge of fail to remain at the scene of an accident, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
Is Crane ready to present this case?
Yes, Your Honor, I am at this time.
And Mr. Fuller, you ready to proceed in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Crown Counsel, you may proceed.
On the date 06/20/2023, the accused is charged of fleeing the scene or failing to remain at the scene of an accident. It happened on the southbound lanes of Highway 93 at Yonge Street, postal 2025. Constable Lucky had come to stop at the red light and was rear-ended by the defendant, or sorry, the accused. Um, I do not have any witnesses to call at this time. I do, however, have dash cam from the time of the incident from the constable.
All right. You may proceed. You may present it to the court at this time.
Would you like me to share my screen?
If you're able to, yes, Crown.
Absolutely.
Mr. Fuller, are you able to see the screen?
able to see the screen? Yes, Your Honor.
Kilo 56, go ahead. Ten four. Do you need thank you, Crown Counsel.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
At this time, do you have any other pieces of evidence that you would like to present to the court?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right, defense, do you have any witnesses or evidence that you would like to present in this matter?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Fuller, do you deny that the vehicle that was in that dash cam recording was in fact your vehicle?
I do not deny it, Your Honor.
All right. So, do you have any mitigating evidence of the reason that you had left that scene?
Your Honor, I did not leave the scene to my knowledge. I had actually pulled over just down the road out of view of said dash cam. I was trying to leave the highway to prevent further accidents.
Okay, so according to the officer's documentation here for your arrest report in this matter, it states that you had continued on heading into Midland. Is that correct?
I was heading to the direction of Midland, but I did not make it as far as Midland.
All right. So approximately how far away from that scene were you when you were stopped?
After I had pulled over and waited for the officer who did not arrive, I was then stopped approximately 2.5 to 3 hours later during a completely unrelated event.
Okay, so at that time you did not speak to the officer. Did you make your way to a collision reporting center?
I did not have the opportunity to, no.
Alright, did you contact anybody from the Ontario Provincial Police prior to being stopped to indicate that you were involved in an accident with the Provincial Police Cruiser?
It was late at night. I was going to do it in the morning. and then I was arrested before I could do so.
All right. So were you aware of the condition of the officer? If there was any injuries involved with that accident?
I was unaware at that time.
All right. And did you make a reasonable effort in which to contact the officer, which would be the driver of the other vehicle that was involved, to exchange any information with them?
After I was sitting on the side of the road for approximately 15 to 20 minutes, I did head back to the scene of the accident, but I did not see the officer there.
All right. And approximately how far away were you from the original scene when you were waiting?
No more than 150 meters.
All right. Were you able to see the constable's police vehicle?
As I was pulling down the road, I saw it like start to pull out after me, and then I lost visual as I ran in the corner.
All right. Well, I am unsure of the intentions in which you had in relation to making a reasonable effort to report this accident had occurred, and I do not believe that you had made a reasonable effort in which to exchange information and check on the driver of the other vehicle involved. Does the Crown have any input on this charge?
I believe with the evidence shown and the statements from the accused, I believe that the charge should be upheld. That's my stance on it this time, Your Honor.
All right, carry on. I concur on that statement, and I am going to be finding the defendant guilty on the charge of failure to remain at the scene of an accident. Does the Crown have any input on punishments in this matter?
This time, I believe he should have his vehicle impounded, and the fines and everything should stick with what we're being advised it should be.
Okay. The set fine amount in this matter will be $2,000, as well as 6 months imprisonment. Mr. Fuller, do you have any suggestions that you would like to make before I impose sentence?
No, I do not.
Well, based on the information that you provided to me, in which you stated that you had intentions on attending a collision reporting center, I do not believe that that was your true intentions, as at any time you could have contacted the Ontario Provincial Police, considering that was a vehicle that you were involved in the accident with. I do not believe that you made a reasonable effort to check on the occupant of the other vehicle. I do not believe that you made a reasonable effort in which to contact the occupant of the other vehicle in which to exchange information. On this charge, I have found you guilty. Fuller, this is going to be a 30-day sentence as well as a $2,000 fine in this matter. I am not going to go with the Crown's suggestion of impounding your vehicle at this time. That is going to be all for this matter. Crown Counsel, you may call the next case.
The next case is going to be docket line 5. It's going to be R.V. Fuller. This is going to be Richard Fuller. Case number 381199, 8223, 81 4 5 54 2.
All right. Mr. Richard Fuller, do we have you here still with us, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm still here.
All right. Just one moment while I bring your case up, sir. All right. So, Mr. Fuller, this is going to be on the charges of careless driving causing a disturbance, and causing a disturbance, indecent exhibition, and loitering. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Karen, are you ready to proceed in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Fuller, are you ready to proceed in this matter?
Yes, sir.
All right, Crown Counsel, you may proceed by calling any witnesses or evidence you have in this matter.
At this time, Your Honor, I have no evidence or witnesses to call in this matter.
All right. So you may present any opening arguments you have then.
Your Honor, at this time, with the amount of detail in the arresting officer's arrest report, I do not have any opening arguments towards this case.
All right. Mr. Fuller, do you have any witnesses or evidence you would like to present to the court?
Yes, I'd like to submit the certificate of offense and the myriad of spelling mistakes that come with it to evidence.
All right, I currently have that pulled up. This can be found by Crown Counsel. Do you have this pulled up as well?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right. Crown Counsel, do you have any recommendations in this matter?
At this time, Your Honor, with the lack of detail in the arrest report and the spelling errors, I believe that this case should be dropped.
I would agree on this matter. Do not see anything within the comments from the officer other than stating that he witnessed him careless driving that would rise to be evidence relating to the careless driving. Have you been in contact with either of the other officers that are stated on this report?
Sorry, Your Honor, could you repeat that one more time?
I was wondering if you had been in contact with the OPP to determine who the other two officers involved here, 1K566 and 1H712.
I have not, Your Honor.
Alright, well, I do not see anything that rises to the level of careless driving stated by the officer on this report. And I see it says has not fixed exhaust, which I believe is going to be the second charge of causing a disturbance. Yeah, I do not see any type of statement from the officer stating that the exhaust has been modified or that it exceeds a decibel level, which does not give me evidence in which to hold this charge against Mr. Fuller. So on the charges of careless driving and causing a disturbance, indecent exhibition, loitering, I am going to be dismissing all charges against you, Mr. Fuller. Cran, do you have an next case to call?
I believe we have one more, Your Honor. It's going to be docket line 3, RV Musid, case number 38119982238104054999. It's going to be for 20 to 29 kilometers an hour over the speed limit.
All right. Mr. Musid, do we have you here today? Mr. Ahmed Musid, are you present? It's going to be the last call for Mr. Ahmed Musid. All right, Officer Wild?
Yes.
Can we have a warrant put out for Mr. Musid for fail to appear?
Yes, I will get rid on that.
Thank you, sir. Crown, do you have any other cases that you would like to call?
I believe that is all the cases that are up on the docket for this evening, Your Honor.
All right, well, I would like to thank everybody for attending today. Court is going to be adjourned.
Courts in Session Canada is a Greater Ontario gaming production.